Hey guys, YouTuber Nerd here. Alright, and I hope everybody has had a Merry Christmas. Right now Christmas is kind of like winding down. Right now, as I'm recording this, it's about like 9:30. So Christmas is really like kind of like winding down now. But yeah, hope everybody has had a very Merry Christmas. And now here I am to conclude my Christmas reviews for the year. And like I said, I was gonna do, uh, this is gonna be a review for the new Christmas Story movie, A Christmas Story Christmas. So this movie was just released last month on HBO Max. And when I heard about this movie getting made, like I wasn't really too sure what to really think about it being made. When the trailer came out for it, like I was kind of like skeptical about it. Like uh, like based on the trailer, like I just wasn't really too sure how to feel about it because like by the looks of it, like it did look like they were really trying to make it be like an actual sequel, but at the same time, like wasn't really too sure how it was going to turn out because like with Christmas Story 2 just being like so stupid, like I just really didn't know how this was really going to turn out. Like I did hear. Like when I heard that, like they were bringing back a Peter Billingsley as Ralphie, I did like that, but at the same time, like still with it being like so many years after the original film, like I wasn't really too sure like if this really was like gonna actually be good. Like I was kind of like nervous about this kind of just like being like another cash grab like a Christmas Story 2 was. So I really was like very skeptical about this film when I heard about it and when I saw the trailer. Yeah. But yeah, I did finally give this movie a watch. And I gotta say that they actually did make a pretty good film. Yeah, this was definitely a much better sequel than Christmas Story 2 was. Like, this time, like, it actually did feel like a legitimate sequel. A Christmas Story 2 was just, like, so dumb, and it just, like, really did just come off as, like, a cash grab. Like, it was just a stupid film with bad performances and just so many, like, dumb things about it. And yeah, just like I said in my review for Christmas Story 2, they just made like way too many references to the original. Yeah, but this time with this film, they actually did do it right this time. Yeah, I'm sure like there wasn't really like a demand for this film to be made, but I guess like just like seeing like how bad a Christmas Story 2 turned out, they really did actually want to go back and actually do a sequel that actually did justice this time, and one that really did actually feel like a legitimate sequel. Yeah, and that really is what they did here. Yeah, like I said, Peter Billingsley did return as Ralphie for the film, and yeah, and he did do pretty good. I mean, I like the guy that played Ralphie in Christmas Story 2. I mean, he was like trying, but yeah, his performance really was just like pretty bad, and plus, yeah, he barely even said anything. Yeah, here like with Peter Billingsley back, it really did like feel that we really were watching the Ralphie from the original, and now he's all grown up. Yeah, so it was cool to see Peter Billingsley back as Ralphie, and I think he also even does do Ralphie's narration voice in this film. So yeah, so it's cool that he this time they actually finally do have like the actor playing Ralphie actually also doing the narrator voiceover work as well. Yeah. And this film also does have like just about like every kid actor from the original back in this film reprising their roles too, such as the guy that played Schwartz is back, the guy that played Flick is back, the guy that played Randy is back. Even the guy that played Farkas is the bully from the original. He's back in this film as well. So yeah, so it's cool that they really did like bring back like the original actors that played the kids in the original film to reprise their roles in this film. I did think that that was pretty cool. I did like that they did actually bring everybody back. Well, at least like all the kids back. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and in this film, like it shows how like Ralphie now has like his own family. He has a a wife, Sandy, and two children. He has a son named uh, Mark, and a daughter named Julie. Yeah, so Ralphie does like have his own family here. Yeah, and yeah, and Ralphie's mother is like back in the film as well, though. Yeah, she's played by a different actress than who played the one that played her in the original. Yeah, yeah. And the story for this film is that like it is like set 33 years after the event of the original. Yeah. And yeah, and what I like about it is that like it does not acknowledge anything from A Christmas Story 2. Pretty much like it just like ignores the events of A Christmas Story 2, pretty much just like erasing that from the timeline. So yeah, so I do like that they're pretty much just like acting as if Christmas Story 2 never existed and this is like a legit sequel. Well, like it does like acknowledge like a lot of things about the original, like yeah, there are some references made to the original, and we do like hear about some stuff talked about in the original. So yeah, so it is nice that they like pretty much like this. So I guess this is kind of like acting as sort of like a reboot sequel to ignore the events of A Christmas Story 2 and just like act as if it didn't even happen. Yeah, so yeah, that's good. Yeah. So yeah, and the premise for this film is that Ralphie is like he's now living in Chicago with his family, but and it shows how like Ralphie is also like a writer to and he's writing a novel and he's like trying to publish it, but no publishing company is taking his book. Then Ralphie gets word that his father has died. So then Ralphie and his family like travel back to Homan to be with his mother during the tough time without his father and spend Christmas with her. Yeah, and yeah, then the mother then asks Ralphie to write an obituary for his father. So yeah, Ralphie like is working on that obituary, and at the same time, he's also like really trying to prepare for Christmas with his family, like trying to and get his kids gifts and a tree and all this stuff. And yeah, and he like runs into some roadblocks along the way, with his wife ends up like getting hurt, and his mother also gets hurt, and then yeah, it shows that both of his kids like end up suffering injuries, and they're being like bullied by these two kids. So yeah, so Ralphie really is just like going through like a whole bunch of problems in this film, but yeah. Over time, like he really is like finding ways to really solve his problems. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and pretty much like that is really like what is really going on throughout the film. Like Ralphie, like really trying to publish his book and write an obituary for his father, and just trying to spend Christmas with his family. But yeah, they like run into some roadblocks along the way. So yeah, so yeah, this film really does like actually seem to really be telling like a legitimate story here, and actually really like trying to really do something different and for Ralphie, because yeah, with the Christmas Story 2, it really just seemed like they were really just trying to really like tell a story that really was just like a very cheap rip off of the original film story. But here they really are telling like something different, and we're now focusing on Ralphie as a grown man. So yeah, so this film really does like do very good at really like giving us some more originality and not really just like a cheap rip off of a cash grab. And it really is just like a much better film than a Christmas Story 2 was. So yeah, so what can I really say about it? Like this really does like a this is like actually like a legitimately good film. So yeah, so I really do think that this film really is definitely worth watching, especially if you are a fan of the original Christmas Story, and especially like if you were just really embarrassed by how like a Christmas Story 2. So yeah, this is definitely like a sequel done right, and I really feel that this film's main purpose, I guess, like the reason why it was made, was to really like redeem this series and really give a legitimate sequel after like how bad A Christmas Story 2 was. Yeah, and I definitely do think that they succeeded in that. So yeah, so I do think that this film definitely is worth a watch. So yeah, so if you haven't seen it before, like if you haven't watched it yet, I do recommend checking it out. Like this is like a legitimately good sequel and a good film. So yeah, so I guess I would probably give this film. I guess I would give it 3.5 stars out of 4. I'll go with that. 3.5 stars out of 4. Yeah. So yeah, so I guess I'll just talk a little bit of the premise of the movie. Yeah. So like I said, it's set 33 years after the events of the original film. And like I said, Ralphie is now living in Chicago with his wife Sandy and their two children, Mark and Julie. Yeah, yeah. And like I said, Ralphie is like trying to write a novel, but yeah, but like no publishing company is actually interested in it because it's just like it's just so excessively long. It's like 2,000 pages or something. Yeah, yeah. So as a result of that, just it's been rejected by numerous publishers. Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, and like I said, it's Christmas time now, and every year, Ralphie's parents do come to visit for Christmas, but then Ralphie got a call from his mother and told him that his father has passed away. Yeah. So yeah, so Ralphie and his family were like very upset by that. So they then made the trip to Holman, to be with Ralphie's mother for Christmas. Yeah, and yeah, and it showed how as condolence offering, she's been given like a whole bunch of casseroles. Yeah. Yeah. Until then, Ralphie then was asked by his mother to take up the mantle of making Christmas special for the family, as well as writing an obituary for his father. Yeah, and yeah, and during the stay, Ralphie's kids end up being bullied by two other kids on a snowmobile. Yeah, and it shows also how like they end up befriending one of the Bumpus kids next door. Yeah, and then then it shows like how Ralphie is then reunited with Flick and Schwartz. And like I said, they're also played by the same kids that played them in the original. Well, so yeah, so it's like I said, it's cool to like see like pretty much like all the kid actors from the original reprising their roles in this film now as grown adults. Yeah, and it's shown how Flick is like now runs a tavern, and Schwartz is living with his mother still, but still is but he also like does have like a very uh large tab at Flicks. Yeah, yeah. Then yeah, then as they're like out looking for Ralphie and his family are out looking for a Christmas tree, like it showed like how Ralphie was really like trying to act like his father, like have the same negotiating skills as him to find like the best tree, but then he wasn't able to replicate his father's skills, and then they end up taking a tree that's just too tall for the living room. Yeah, yeah. Then as they were decorating it at home, um Julie was just nervous, there not being an angel to top it with. But then Ralphie then just improvised and just said that Santa Claus is looking for stars and not angels. So then they then topped the tree with a star. Then it showed how as Ralphie was working on his father's obituary after he found an old typewriter in the attic, it showed how he really wasn't able to really come up with the right words and was just using in it the workspace to write like a sequel that he was working on for his unpublished novel. Yeah. Yeah, then like I said, it showed how like uh Ralphie's wife and mother end up getting hurt, and then at one point it just shows how at one point as Sandy was attempting to go ice skating, she slipped and ended up spraining her ankle, so she had to be on crutches. Yeah, and then like then showed at one point how Ralphie was actually on the phone, and he was actually talking with his brother Randy. Yeah, and the same actor that played Randy in the original reprises the role in this film too. Yeah, Yeah, and pretty much like Ralphie pretty much just like manipulated Randy into coming to visit their mother. Yeah, because it showed how like Randy was like on a business trip in India. Yeah, then with Christmas Eve approaching, then like Ralphie then just took the family to the Higbee's department store, and he let Mark and Julie go tell Santa what they want for Christmas, and Ralphie then just went to buy Mark and Julie's presents that they asked for. Yeah, yeah, and once again, like there was still like the same setup for like going to see Santa. Like they were still like the same line, and Santa was still like sitting in the same spot. Yeah, but this time, yeah, it was like a better Santa and just a better like staff this time with like the elves and everything. Like they weren't just acting like very pushy and just like yelling and just like acting like they didn't want to be there. They were actually like acting like legitimate this time. Yeah, yeah. Then eventually, like as they were like on their way back, Ralphie's car ended up breaking down, and like the past the time for the uh, engine to cool down. Like Ralphie then had a snowball fight with his family, but then Ralphie ended up accidentally like throwing a snowball at Julie's eye, and then like they had to take Julie to the emergency room, and Julie was like given a temporary eye patch. But yeah, it showed that like Ralphie like had accidentally left the trunk open, that and then like all the gifts were stolen, and as they were in the hospital, and then like then like Sandy just said how like they had very little money left to actually replace the gifts. Yeah, and then Ralphie was just like Ralphie and Sandy were just telling the kids how they really need to really like be thinking, having some more gratitude rather than just be thinking about gifts for Christmas. Then yeah, then at Flicks, like Ralphie ended up taking Mark to Flicks after like his disappointment and about like the gifts and everything. And then Flick then like gave Mark like an on the spot job as a bartender. Then it just like showed how like Flick was like at this point had very little patience with Schwartz, and he was then offering to just forget about Schwartz's tab if he would complete a physical stunt, known that was like would be jumping what they refer to as the ramp. And it showed like how at first like Schwartz was like very reluctant to do it, but then Flick then gave like a triple dog dared Schwartz to do it. So yeah, so I guess like this was a Flick's revenge on Schwartz finally for the whole tongue incident in the original. Yeah, but then yeah, Schwartz then succeeded at the stunt, and the tab was forgiven. But yeah, then it just showed like all the bar patrons like sledding, and that included Mark, and he ended up breaking his arm. Yeah, then Ralphie got a call from his final uh publisher, but yeah, Ralphie was then once again rejected. So then, yeah, Ralphie just like very disheartened and disappointed, just ended up throwing the manuscript away and just gave up on the writing. But then, after some persuasion from his mother as well as Sandy, and remembering Christmases of yesteryear, Ralphie then just like was inspired and then wrote a piece that exceeded the length of a normal obituary, which was just like um, just going over like memories of the old man. But Ralphie didn't actually like send it to the newspaper paper to prepare it for Christmas Day. Yeah, he just like ended up leaving it on the desk. Then it just showed how, like after like some talks with Ralphie about like how he handled Farkas when he was younger. Then that then like inspired Mark and Julie to stand up to the bullies that were picking on them, and then it showed how like they built a snowman over a tree stump that the bullies ended up crashing into, and they ended up like crashing into the tree stump as well, and they ended up getting hurt. Yeah, but then yeah, then that night, like the star ended up like falling off the tree and broke, and Julie was just very upset about that. And then Ralphie then just like went out to find a new one. And, but yeah, but it showed like at this point like all the stores were closed, so Ralphie like had no other option other than to just borrow the star from Flick's tavern. Yeah, but yeah, he ended up breaking into the tavern to take the star, and then as he was leaving, he ended up being caught by a cop, and then the cop turned out being a Scut Farkas. That's who was yeah, and showed like he was now a police officer. Yeah, and like at first Ralphie was like very afraid about like what Scut could do to him, especially like since like he like beat him up in the original film. Yeah, so he was just like really nervous, especially like when uh, um, Farkas ended up putting him in the car. Yeah, yeah, but then yeah, then it was then shown that like Farkas actually did bring Ralphie home, and was saying that like after Ralphie beat him up as a kid, like it led him down a better path, and he owed Ralphie for it. Yeah, then he also like revealed to Ralphie that the two kids that are bullying Mark and Julie are actually his own kids. Yeah, then yeah, then that night it just like showed how Ralphie and his mother were just like sitting right beside the Christmas tree, looking outside, reminiscing about the old man, kind of similar to what like the shot of Ralphie's parents, like just sitting next to the tree at the end of the original film and looking outside. Yeah, and then yeah, then like then the next morning on Christmas morning, like Jolo, uh, um, everybody was like opening presents, but it was also shown how there were like some presents from Ralphie's father that were bought and personally wrapped before his death. Then Ralphie also like as he went outside, like it showed like there were like uh people that were like complimenting his piece in the newspaper. But yeah, Ralphie was confused about it since he didn't actually send that into the paper. But then yeah, Sandy then revealed that like she actually sent it in because she found the manuscript and took it to the paper, and the and its high quality led to it being on the front page as a full column, and it was quickly syndicated. Then Ralphie got a call from the editor of the paper, and then was offered a job as a syndicated columnist. And so yeah, Ralphie now was like now became a full time writer. Then due to the popularity of Ralphie's piece in the paper, a lot of the town then like came into the house for Christmas dinner, which included like Schwartz, Flick, and Randy. Yeah. Then as a then like as the dinner was finished up, like then the the family then was just like asking Ralphie to read his story about the old man. And so then Ralphie then like ended up like sitting in like his father's old red chair here, and yeah, Ralphie then just like saw how his father was still there in spirit, and then Ralphie then like sat in the chair and started to read. He'd now like embracing his role as his father's successor. Yeah. Then yeah, Ralphie then was just like reading his piece, and it was like revealed that like just the story is uh the story of like the events of the original film. And then as Ralphie was talking about it, like he then like it then like the Ralphie's voice in here then like just transition into like his adult voice narration from the original film, like saying how like he wanted the Red Rider gun. Yeah, then yeah, but yeah, like the narration piece like of adult Ralphie he's in the original, it sounded kind of like a strange. Like it did sound like it was like amplified or a little distorted or something. Like yeah, it did like sound like kind of off a little bit, like it like they amplified it or something. Yeah, but yeah, that's not really a big deal here. But it just like sounded a little off. Yeah, and then yeah, and that's how it ended. So yeah, so yeah, like I said, this was actually like a pretty good movie. Like this really did seem like a sequel that really is actually done right. Like this, like there was actually effort put into this one, and it wasn't really just like a money grubbing cash grab like Christmas Story 2 was. So yeah, so I am really glad that they did like decide to just like do this film to really redeem this series and give it like a proper sequel this time. And just like I said, it was cool to really see like Peter Billingsley and all the um, actors from the original film who played the kids back in this film too. Yeah, yeah, and the story really was pretty good, and yeah, just like Ralphie's story of the old man, like just seeing how he really does want to really be a successor to the old man is like a very like it is done like very well, and it is like kind of like some heartfelt moments in it as well, especially like with the ending. So yeah, so what else can I really say about it? This is like a legit good sequel and a good film. Well, like I said, if you haven't seen it yet, I definitely do recommend checking it out. Like it is definitely a much better sequel than A Christmas Story 2, and yeah, it is good. And I like that they really did just like pretty much like just like erased A Christmas Story 2 from the timeline and really like just made this be canon to the original film now. So yeah, like I said, I give the film 3.5 stars out of 4. So yeah, so if you haven't seen it, give it a watch, especially if you are a big fan of the original. All right, so yeah, so I guess that's all I can really say about it. All right, so so this is my review of A Christmas Story Christmas. So I hope you guys did enjoy this review, and yeah, and I hope you guys did enjoy my Christmas reviews this year. But yeah, so I know that like I kind of like uh the reviews I made this year were like a little bit unorthodox. Like I did like kind of review like some stuff that really like wasn't as popular, but yeah, I've already reviewed like a lot of popular Christmas movies and specials, and yeah, and I am kind of like running out of ones to talk about now. But yeah, I still am like really trying to like find them as best as I can and talk about ones that I really haven't talked about. So yeah, so hopefully this year like these Christmas reviews still were like pretty good and you guys did enjoy them, and yeah, and I was glad that I did get to talk about like some ones that did come out this year, such as this and the Santa Clauses and the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special. So yeah, and hopefully now like with like I can talk about more new ones that come out in the future. Like probably next year when the next season of the Santa Clauses does come out. Like I said, I'm guessing that the second season will come out like next year during Christmas time. I can talk about the second season, yeah, and we'll see if like anything else Christmas related does come out by next year, and maybe I'll talk about some of those next year as well. But I hope you guys did enjoy my Christmas reviews for this year. So yeah, thank you to everyone who tuned in. Hope everybody is had a Merry Christmas, and like I said, like now that the Christmas reviews are done, yeah, I'll like next up I'll probably make a review for a retro Starcade event. So yeah, I'll probably make that in probably the next few days. So stay tuned for a Starcade review coming up in the next few days. But I hope you guys did enjoy these Christmas reviews this year. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.